Here it is, January 11th. It's getting crazy out there. Oh my God, I've had so much coming at me and just big revelations. Probably because of the Epiphany being the Revelation Day. So, this whole event with the protest and Odin showing up was basically a big reveal. And I'm going to show you what the big reveal was all about in case you haven't caught up with it through social media. I'm also keeping my eye on the moon. So today the moon, it's a black moon, like a new moon, and it's in conjunction with Venus in the Golden Gate. Now this is, we know the Golden Gate Bridge, and this is the golden nebula egg on the Milky Way. And this location of the sky is very prophetic because of it being, that's where the battle happens for the souls, okay? So it's like the two paths are written out in the sky. So you either go towards the right, and it would be the left hand of God, I guess, or the whole left hand, right hand thing. It just depends on which way you're facing, right? So I'm just gonna say when you're looking at the sky on Stellarium, it's to the right, and this is the path of Alice in Wonderland, and the other path goes up to Ascension, but it happens at the Golden Gate. And this is where you have your arrows and you fight the dragon. Anybody new to my channel, I document everything that I speak about. So if I'm just speaking off my word right now, it's because I know most of my subscribers have listened to my other videos where I've documented, what I'm talking about. So I don't want to keep pulling up screenshots. It's exhausting to find them. And so you need to do your homework and go back and watch my other videos. Okay, so I had predicted that Odin would show up at this Odin Wild protest because January 6th is the Odin Wild Hunt Day. It's also known as the Day of Light. It's many different festivals, also the Epiphany for a revelation. So when this happened, everybody was like, no way is he a Trump supporter? And, we found out that he was an actor, and I had put this all in my last video. But then one of my subs, sent me the video, and then somebody else had got it on Discord, and we started to find all his videos where he's disclosing free energy and all the tech from Space Force, and he's basically saying that he's a super soldier and he's allowed to disclose all this information, and he speaks about the tech basically for ascension and time travel. So this to me is just like craziness, right? Because the right don't want to listen to him because they think he's Antifa, and then the left don't want to listen to him because they think he's a QAnon Trump supporter. So it's only the people that have, the ability to see the illusion and to be willing to, actually go listen to his videos. They're all on Rumble. So anyhow, I'm going to drop the links where they are. It's hilarious, I find. I just think it's so perfect. And I'm sure Trump planted him, okay? And this is why I know Trump planted him, from this tweet from Roger Stone. So somebody sent me this. My great-grandson Odin will have to live under communism or freedom. It's up to us. Resist tyranny. So here, they're creating the two timelines. It's happening right now. They're splitting the realities, okay? I've got some other people that, I don't know if you know Simon Parks. He's doing updates all the time now. He was connecting consciousness. He's into aliens. He's tied into UK political system. He was a MP or something, but I listened to him years ago, and he actually believes he's a mantis. Okay, but he's all connected to know what's going down. So he's basically saying, this is what's going down, this is what's going down, and but don't listen to mainstream media. So they don't want anybody listening to mainstream media that is on the Trump timeline. And they're saying that Trump didn't really concede. He conceded to the Corporation of the United States, not to the Republic. So he's actually going to get inaugurated to the Republic of the United States, not the Corporation of the United States. So they're splitting the timelines. It's just mind-boggling. But both sides are dropping the lingo, okay? So this is Schumer saying that the protest was, you know, the same as Pearl Harbor. Like, what is he talking about? Well, we know what he's talking about. Pearl Harbor all ties into this Mabsuta star in Gemini, where the moon was when they took the Twin Towers down. It's also ties, you know, we know the pearl ties to ascension. This is all to do with the Meissner effect in quantum physics and how your body has to become like a shell, like how the mother of pearl does, and the proteins have to swap. I've talked about all this. If you want to go back and look at my old videos, it's all there. Okay, all documented. It's not me just talking. Okay, so this is just like a little news update because I want to keep you guys up to date so that your emotions stay calm, so you see what's happening. Then Mike Pompeo was tweeting exactly every 30 minutes. It was going on all day. And supposedly Simon Parks said once the tweets get down to like every 5 minutes, and he keeps tweeting like this, doesn't matter what the tweets are, as long as they're done on consecutive order, that's when the big blackout's going to happen. Okay, so you guys need to keep an eye on Mike Pompeo's tweets. Okay, so Lynn Wood is talking about this emergency broadcast system, and you've got to turn off your updates on your phone because if the update's on, you won't hear it. This is if you're American, right? And then Devin Nunes is also talking about, you know, fighting for freedom so that you know, tweet this number, so about the shutdown. So what they're doing is they're creating two timelines, okay? So there's also this one about everything, you know, the satellites might go down too. So communications might totally go off. And this is why I wanted to pump this out for you guys today, just so that you know, if I'm not sure if it'll happen yet, because I do think it all ties into February 2nd, and it'll probably be closer to the end of the month. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up so you can kind of know what's going on. You know, from sitting here watching it from both sides, it's really fascinating. So Lynn Wood even tweeted out that the Pope got arrested, and Simon Parks confirms that. Now, of course, mainstream media won't cover this, right? So it's like two realities being brought into our consciousness at the same time. Then the comic strip guy, Ben Garrison, he's got, you know, all the knives and Trump being, you know, they're all backstabbing Trump. This is all symbolism to Julius Caesar, right? Because there was 23 stabs into Julius Caesar when they took down Rome. Okay, so this is what they're doing. They're going to collapse Rome, and you just don't want to be stuck on that negative timeline. Okay, so you know that I did the whole video about Sic Semper Tyrannis, all ties into Lincoln, because that's the phrase that was used when he was shot. And then it all ties into Julius Caesar, which is what they're doing is they're mirroring Rome, right? So this Sic Semper Tyrannis actually means in the Civil War they used the phrase, but they had another meaning for it, which was get off my neck. Okay, so the whole thing with George Floyd, this all ties to this Messianic sacrifice that they're going to be doing to mirror Julius Caesar and the fall of Rome. Okay, so we have the date of George Floyd when all this happened was May 25th. Now, if we bring this to January 31st of this year, it comes to 251 days. Now, if you look at the months and the days, it's 14, which could be 5, or 1 times 4 could be 4. So, but it's mirroring Trump, right? Because it's 45. He's the 45th president. Okay, then we go to the minutes. 36 can be 9, and then we get the 144. Towards 144,000, and then the 24 times 6 is also 144. So all the numbers are aligning to gematria to be like a very sacred day. Now, if you put this into the gematria calculator, it comes to 8888. Now, we know Trump is 88, and it also the mutable cross has Mercury on the ladder. Okay, so that's 8888 because 88 is Mercury's orbit, which is Odin's, you know, planet. Okay, so here we go. The first one you pull up, ritual sacrifice. So these are phrases: Christ crucifixion, the Capitol building, which is like basically Ascension with the Apotheosis of Washington painting in there. This is a very spiritual place. I did lots of videos on the Apotheosis of Washington. and all the painting there. It's a portal. The Second Coming, Baron William Trump, okay, the Golden Hurricane, and again, sacrifice ritual, freak accident, state of emergency, summer of all fears, the Force Awakens, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. All this ties to 251. The duration dates between George Floyd and January 31st. The Holy Bloodline, What on Earth is Happening, Make America Great Again, Trump, Expand Your Thinking, Don't Stop Believing. What else I had? Those ones. Hang on. E equals MC square, What on Earth is Happening. Yeah, I got those ones, sorry. And the Jewish Messiah. I had the crucifixion there, and yeah, the Capitol building again. Yeah, so there you go. That's a lot of stuff tying into this number. Got to remember, Washington, D.C. used to be called Rome. And it's on the Capitoline Hill, just like in Rome. Now, here's the other reality all about, how they're going to impeach Trump. You guys can read through all this. I clipped it out. But they've talked about timelines. And that's what got my attention on this little article that they had posted this morning. Anytime that they use the word timelines or souls, I'm always kind of like, what? They're kind of like dropping the lingo. But they're explaining how they're going to, try to impeach Trump. I think at this point, with just a few days left, it's the best path forward and the best way to get this person in a rear view mirror for us. That could happen immediately. I'm not optimistic about it. Okay, so this rear view mirror thing, somebody had kind of brought it to my attention. I did hear it at the rally, at the protest. Trump kept saying, we want to go back 8 weeks. We want to go back 8 weeks. And I'm starting to wonder if we do go into this black hole, which is what this Odin character is all talking about with, the new tech, and that basically the universe is all made up of black holes and white holes. And if we do go into this black hole and we go to 0 point, do we jump back like 8 weeks and then Trump wins? And then the other timeline just proceeds forward and Trump, gets, impeached basically and all this chaos and, he's gone. Okay, so, this is what I'm starting to see. Like, they're talking about, going backwards in time. This is what Trump was referring to at the rally. And the other thing that's mentioned in here too is soul searching after supporting Trump's big lie. So, they're going mirroring in the rear view, going back in time, and it's all about your soul. It's like they're always dropping it. You just have to kind of see the little crumbs. Okay, so I have Trump's birth certificate with his time of birth. It's 1054. I wish I had Melania's. If anybody ever finds it, please send it to me. I can't find her time of birth anywhere. Drum roll, please. This is Trump's Azimuthal grid. And guess what? It's on the wolf. Okay, we did the video about this wolf and it being vampiric and, the werewolf. But it's also in the Game of Thrones, it's the King of the North, which is the star that's over the White House when they built Washington, D.C. Aligns with Arcturus. It's the King of the North Star symbol in the Game of Thrones. It's the wolf, okay? So he's going to go beyond the ice wall, and whoever wants to stay on his timeline and his reality is going to go beyond the veil, and we're living in the 100 years of Golden Age ruled by Saturn, okay? This is the war of Saturn and Jupiter. It depends on which timeline you're going to end up on, okay? So this is it. He's the wolf. And he's going to divide the souls, because that's what the wolf does. He's like the King of the North. Odin. I just re-listened. I realized I said 100 years of Golden Age. It's 1,000 years, and you don't age. And the other side is the demon eye, okay, which is Medusa's head, which Perseus holds, and he destroys Cetus, the whale, the beast. But it's also, he gave this head, Medusa's head, to Athena, and she's like basically the goddess that has ascended. And she, has it on her shield, and anybody that tries to attack her, she turns them to stone because they look at this head. Okay, so it's almost like a shield in a way too. It depends on how you see Trump. If you see him as a demon, you have a right to see him as a demon because it's all in his chart here. But if you see him as the king of the north and he's going to save us all, therefore it's really where you're at, okay? So, but the point is, they're creating the illusion. He's going to divide the souls, and this is what's happening. The timelines are splitting as we speak, through social media. Now that Trump's like off social media, there's this kind of underground social media happening that nobody has access to from the other side. Okay, so the people that are listening to mainstream media are not hearing anything that what this is going on. They don't see Trump's tweets anymore, nothing. Okay, so it's like two totally separate realities. So I'll go over this again, what's in the sky. Okay, the phoenix you see is in purple. Medusa turns your head to stone. Okay, so if Medusa's up above here, if you're the rabbit, you go down the rabbit hole. The green pin here is like basically you take the vaccine, you come down, you're following the rabbit hole down the river of Eridanus or the rabbit hole, and you come to the clock. It's the white rabbit chasing after the clock, right, in Alice in Wonderland. And your phoenix flies away if you fall down this rabbit hole, and you become a stone head, which is basically when you look at Medusa, that's what happens. Okay, so you become stone, which you have no soul for 3.5 years as Satan rules. It's all in the Bible. The other interesting thing is that when Trump was born, his Mercury, who he is, he's Mercury because that's who Odin is, right? Odin is Woden in German, but it's actually Wednesday, Woden Day in Germany, which is Mercredi in French, which is Mercury. Okay, so Wednesday is Odin Day, and his Mercury is on the Mebsuta star where they took down the Twin Towers, and also this is all tied to Pearl Harbor and the Liberty ship. Okay, so it's still two paths, right? So he was born for this role. He was born on the Crab Nebula, which is in the Silver Gate, which is all to do with the Pleiades. His Enki was beside the Pleiades when he was born. Okay, this is prophecy happening. Okay, you can't deny what was happening in the sky with this man when he was born. Okay, so he was just born for this role. If you don't know who Enki is, spelled E-N-K-I, not on Stellarium, they spell it a different way, is the two sons of the Anunnaki. He's the one that wants the consciousness of humanity to ascend. Okay, his brother Enlil is the AI line. It's all, in the Sumerian text. And also Capricorn, which is where this conjunction is happening between the war, Saturn and Jupiter right now, is in Enki. That Capricorn is considered Enki, okay, also along with Aquarius. Okay, so there you go. It's all tied in perfectly. So in my last video, I predicted, that Trump needs to be sacrificed on this timeline to make him look like, he's ascended on the other timeline. They're going to mirror Jesus, okay? Now, somebody said, oh, the 311 number could be January 13th. And yes, the moon is in conjunction with Saturn and Jupiter in Enki's house, Saturn's house. So yes, it could be then, but the reason I don't think so is because we need this wolf moon to happen on January 28th. Which is the full moon for the month of January. It's called a wolf moon. And now that Trump's azimuthal grid is aligning to the wolf, I think this is super important. Look at this even. You pull up the moon cycles and they show you a picture of the White House with a full moon. It's crazy. I remember I thought they were going to do it January 4th because the moon was on the Zavi Java star for ascension, and then the wild protest was a few days later. And I thought, oh, that's when it was going to happen. But maybe I was just a month off, right? Because it happens to align again there on the 311, the numbers which we need, which ties to 33, which is Freemasonry number. They need to do this, but it makes sense that it has to happen when the moon is on the ascension star, okay? Because in this 3 days of ascension, And then, it goes to February 2nd. I'm going to do a whole video on that. I found out a ton of stuff about February 2nd. I want to get that out to you guys. It's mind-blowing, and it all ties into Freemasonry. Okay, so this is a very important date, this February 2nd date. I really do think that is the day when the whole split happens. It's confirming more and more to me. Okay, so what else did I want to say? Oh, I was watching The Hobbit, and they're trying to get into the kingdom, right? Into the mountain, which is Mount Zion, right? And I think this is why we're so locked down in Montreal, because it's Mount Royal. So they're locking down all the symbolic cities. So anyhow, this whole thing about getting into this mountain on The Hobbit, they were waiting for the last day of the sun, the last light of the sun. It was like an ancient poem, and they needed to have the last light of the sun on a certain day. But then they realized it was the moonlight. Okay, we always think ascension. It's it's coded in there, right? The Lord of the Rings, and the whole thing is that we always think the sun dies for 3 days on the winter solstice, and then baby Jesus is born, on Christmas Day, 3 days later. And so this is all really not about the sun. It's about the moon. It's about the cardinal cross, okay? Because this is the high cross where the moon is on its proper pillar. So it's a little trick that they do, okay, between the two pillars, the feminine and the masculine sun and moon pillars. So January 31st, right? It's the 31st day of the month. So we got the number 13, or 3 for Trinity. There's also 334 days left. And if you times 33 times 4, it comes to 132. So you get your, the 32 number. It's almost coded. It's like you got the 33 in there, you got the 4 for the 4 cardinal points, and then you get your 132 in there, plus you get your 13. Okay, so it's a very good number to tie in all to Freemasonry. Okay, so here's an ancient alchemic picture that tells you the two splits. Okay, they have the worlds, on one side with Aquila, which is the eagle, and then you have the sun and the moon at the bottom. I circled it in green. You're on the pillars. It's all about money. The pyramid that's on the dollar bill. It's all about finance, and that you're stuck in this timeline. Then the other timeline is the phoenix on the other side of the tree, peacock. And this is all, going on fire, burning out of the fixed cross as it's collapsing for you. Okay, it's not going to collapse for everybody else. It's just you. Okay. Now I looked at all these astrology symbols up here. Really fascinating. They have Virgo with the 2 moons, the Cheshire moons, the sickle and the Cheshire, moon for the ascension. They also have this green guy. He's with his flame, and he's running away. But that's not a zodiac sign. But they put him in there. Okay, so you're leaving that side of the harvest. Okay, and you're running away with your flame, and you're going towards the other side. They also have Libra with a child. It's like a balance here, right in the center, which is ruled by Venus. They've made it a little confusing. If you can go zoom in, you can see the alchemic symbols, but they've kind of shifted them over 1 degree, so they're in with the other sign. They've done that on purpose just to confuse people. And then Saturn is the Grim Reaper. He has his Grim Reaper, and he has the baby. See, so you either die or you live. He's in the yellow circle up here. What else did I see in here? Oh, yeah, they had Aquarius as the man on the whale. Okay, this is fascinating. And then they have Pisces and Aries up at top. So this is Jupiter rules Pisces, which is all about religion, spirituality, and then Aries, is at the top, which is your golden fleece. It's the sheep. Okay, so yeah, and then I looked into the lettering, and this is a nom omnia, which is all to do with thoroughly together, joining. So this is like, your ascended self, you're complete. And then they have this ribbon coming from the tree of life, right? And it goes up to this X symbol. We see X's everywhere. But this is an alchemic symbol, and it's actually copper, ruled by Venus. They're saying the organs is kidneys, which is balance again, right? So the copper is really important. It's one of the 7 metals for alchemy. I've been drinking copper water. You can get a jug on Amazon with no seams in it, so there's no lead. And you just drink copper water. And I do think somehow it decalcifies your third eye, and that's probably why I get a lot of this information coming through to me. And it also helps with your blood. And what's interesting, if you do some research on crabs, which is Cancer ruled by the moon, which is going to be on the cardinal cross on its copper pillar, the moon. Cancer has the crab has lots of copper. So if you eat a lot of crab, you get a lot of copper in your diet as well. So that's really fascinating. I just find it's interesting how in science the esoteric knowledge just weaves through everything. So the Hermetic seal of light is this kind of philosopher's stone with the circle, square, triangle within the circle. It's all about love. So the philosopher's stone is it's really just uniting your left and right brain, your heart and your mind, so you can see through the illusion. This is really what it all is. I have the link for really good theta binary beats to listen to if you're stressed right now. If you listen to these binary beats, it's just pure sound. It's not music. It'll balance your left and right brain, which is really what you need to do to ascend. Okay, so and take on these energies and everything. So I'll drop the link for that just to help anybody out that's finding this really stressful right now. Needless to say, this week was a big revelation for me. I actually found out my late husband's time of birth, and his azimuthal grid aligns exactly to mine. Okay, this was just crazy. Cain's Venatici, which are 2 dogs joined together as a leash, they go back to this ancient goddess, which is really about the harvest. But it just blew my mind because he's born on a different year, a different day, and a different time, and our grids aligned. And the other side, you guys won't believe this, is the phoenix. Okay, you guys know my symbol for YouTube has been the phoenix forever since I've had my channel going. I'm obsessed with the phoenix, and I honestly bawled my eyes out when I pulled it through and I saw that our grids were identical. So I don't know what the heck we're living in. I question it. I question whether, we came here for a mission, all us awakened souls, and we're part of this kind of consciousness rising. And, was it all what happened with his life and mine? Was it all to help me awaken? So I see it kind of like a gift. After he passed, I sat underneath the maple tree for 3 weeks. I didn't know I knew the tree meant something, but I didn't understand it was all to do with the tree of life in the sense that this is the 2 paths, right? So, it's just fascinating. I just wanted to share that with you guys. And if you do know your time of birth, go on Stellarium and just check out where your grid is, because I think this is a telltale sign. I flew out of my mother. The nurse caught me as they were trying to move her onto the table. I flew out, and if it wasn't for Nurse Green catching me, I would have been dead. Like, I had to get out at that time. And was I aligning it to my husband's soul because we knew each other from the other side? I don't know. This is all stuff that I can't wait till we get our full memories back, because it seems too many coincidences all through my life that has pulled me to this mission. So I'm sure you guys feel the same thing. So very fascinating times, and I'll keep you posted if anything new comes up. Cheers. Bliss to you all.